everybody, welcome to my channel. You are asking Ashley, and today's question is, do I have the right mindset? And I really want to get into that because that's typically what's holding you back from the outcomes you want. And honestly, it's really an easy thing. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's more in your control to fix. Certain things, obviously, you just can't fix in your life, like it is what it is. But your mindset, if you really focus on it and you really put in the effort to change it, it could really change your total outcome of what's happening in your life. So just to give a little background about me and how this really changed my life. So a lot of times I was going into stuff and I was thinking, honestly, negatively. Not like a true pessimist, like dark cloud type of person. No, I was, a realistic person, but like when I saw little things, and I'm talking about relationships, when I saw little things in a relationship, I would just think the complete worst. Like I would just make up this story in my head, and that was really the beginning of my husband and I's relationship. Like he would tell me normal things, like he might have just fell asleep and didn't answer the phone, and I would just be like, oh, he must have a wife. And this is before we were married. I would be thinking like he must have a wife. I remember calling my sister and I was like, he's a good guy. He's this and this and this, but I'm just convinced he's married. Like that just was something in my head that was, happening. He's a good guy, but he's not available. He's married. So that really can ruin a great situation. And I feel like a lot of women today, they're stuck in that place, like that negative place, and they don't even realize it. So the first thing to think about is, who are you surrounding yourself with? If you're surrounding yourself with, and I know this sounds really harsh, if you're surrounding yourself with friends that aren't really positive and their life is terrible and, they have this going on, their boyfriend is cheating on them and this and this and this, they're not going to be able to encourage you and give you that boost to find the good man. Or even if you have the good man, you're going to be thinking those negative things in your head, and they're going to be adding extra stuff. So I might be like, he's married, and they're like, girl, he got 3 kids because this happened and blah, 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 blah. So you want to make sure you look at who you're surrounding yourself with. And honestly, I'm a results-driven person, so I just look at what's going on. So you can't say like, oh, I did this, I got this, da, da, da. If your current situation is not what I want or not what I see as a great situation, then maybe I need to, put the brakes on you until I get myself right. Because when you're right, it's easier for you to be positive around someone who's not so positive. But when you are going through things or you're trying to get somewhere and someone is just like pulling you down, it just feels extra heavy. So you have to really think about that. If you're wanting to be married, you should be with or trying to be around happily married women. Women that are going to give you great advice, women that are going to encourage you, women that are going to, give you little tips and tricks or whatever. You want to make sure you surround yourself with those ladies. And if you're around single women, you want to make sure it's someone who wants to be in a relationship and, in a marriage as well. You don't want to be around that friend all the time that's want to, hot girl summer and stuff like that if you want to be married, because they're going to be putting you towards that result. So you, in a hot girl summer realm, when you want to be in a wife realm and you get in hot girl summer results. So you have to really think about that. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because that's really, really important. Also, you have to really look inside yourself. So with me, that's just, I'm spiritual. I'm a Christian. So I just really looked at, my faith. Like, am I really faithful? And honestly, I wasn't. Like, I wasn't believing in God in that moment. And again, you don't have to believe in God. Whatever you believe in, if you look in your inner self and, you're not putting out that positivity and that, things are going to work out no matter what type of vibe, you're going to get the negative type of vibe. So it doesn't have to necessarily be spiritual. It could be like, you believe in the universe or karma or whatever. If you're being nasty to people, you're walking down the street and, you're just being nasty, you're not being gracious and you're not being inviting and not having a friendly attitude about things, then that's typically what you're going to get back from the people that's surrounding you. And it's just simple, like, just walking down the street. Like, I used to walk down the street and like don't talk to me, have that face, like don't even whatever. But as I grew, I realized, I'm doing that. So like I just started smiling. And in the beginning, it's like tough. Like you have to really be like really intentional about it. You kind of like looking crazy in your head because you're like, I'm down to, smiling at people and people looking at me like, what's wrong with that girl? But you smile, and the more you smile, the more it's just like you don't even think about it. You just continue to smile. And then as you continue to smile, you start to be happy because people are smiling at you. And you don't even realize it's because you're always smiling. People are giving you back that energy. But it's really true, If it's like kind of fake it till you make it. So, keep smiling and giving out that great energy, and it really will come back to you. And that's really, really important when you're trying to find a high value man or just a good man in general, because it's just like simple. Like you could be a beautiful woman, you can be, a boss chick. And I also saw another video about boss women, like a woman bossing up because men aren't like being, stepping to the plate and doing things. But when you have that attitude, like I don't need you, or it's like a negative attitude, that's what you're getting back from men. Men are not gonna, say, okay, now I want to do that thing that she wants me to do because she's giving me an attitude about it. No, that doesn't work. Like if you're giving them a positive attitude, and it's just simply by the way you say something, and like I said, it could be, you intentionally smiling when you talk. It feels different to them because you are saying it different, and you might not even really be saying it different in your head, but they're receiving it different. And another thing that's very, very important, and I would say a lot of women like me, we go through things, and you have those past traumas, those past experiences that really change your lens on things. And that's something that I really, really had to deal with. And it was a lot of stuff that I didn't even realize that was affecting me in a relationship. It was things that happened in the past, even my childhood, things that I saw that was really affecting how I maneuvered in a relationship. So obviously we can't dictate or determine what we experience as children. We can't necessarily dictate and determine what we experience in a relationship. So if you have some of those traumas, really seek counseling, seek therapy to get to the root of those things. Because you might be doing one thing, and it's because whatever happened to you in a relationship, or whatever happened to you as a child, or your mother went through something and you saw your dad treat her a certain way. So you're like, oh, I'm never gonna, put up with a certain thing that might be normal, and you're taking it like a negative way just because of that. And a lot of things that we've seen as a childhood, we do normalize. So it could happen totally opposite. So maybe you saw like your mom cheating a lot on, your dad or whoever they were with. So you saw that like as a normal thing. So then as an adult, you think that's the normal thing. You don't even realize how messy or toxic you're being, or how hurtful you're being to somebody, because you saw that all your life. And maybe your dad or whoever it was, your stepdad, forgave her and they were able to move on, but you saw her cheating, and so you might do that too. And I'm not necessarily talking about like sexual cheating, but it could be like the little things, like you saw her engaging with men inappropriately. So it could be like that type of cheating. I'm not talking about like obviously that's totally wrong, and whatever, you know that's adult, that's wrong. But simple things like that. Like, so now with social media so prevalent, you might be on social media flirting or entertaining men, but that's been normal to you. That's been normalized because of your past traumas. And like I said, you don't even realize it's the past trauma. You're just living it as an adult, and your results are terrible because men that are high value, men that are good men, they're not going to accept that. So are you going to be able to get a good man? Are you going to be able to get a high value man? No, because they're not accepting that. So you have to really, really, really be conscious about those certain things and really focus on bettering your mindset. And something that is funny, because me and my husband spoke about it, is the way when your mindset is changed and you have a different perspective about things. Like, I genuinely just want to make my husband happy. Like, that's just what I want to do. And it's not because I feel like it's my like job or my duty, even though it is as a wife. I just feel like happy in doing that. So again, that's my mindset. So it doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel like, I'm clocking into work every day. That's something that I simply want to do. And that just makes my day just a happier day. I live a happier life because I've changed my mindset, and I don't feel like it's a give and take. So I'm doing this, so I need you to do this. It's not like that. That's just something that I like to do. So that's something that you really, really could focus on. And that's something that you can really easily change in your life to make everything better. So ladies, you need to really think about your mindset and pose that question to myself. Like, do I have the right mindset? And is that something that I need to focus on changing? Because like I said, it's a simple fix. Like, fake it till you make it. Go ahead and, counseling, get counseling, talk to that therapist, talk to that senior person in your life, or a person that has been through some things and now in a great situation. Again, you really want to focus on the result, because people will go through things, but you want to make sure you're talking to somebody who has gotten over the mountain. And that's not necessarily saying that someone who's going through things is a bad person or they're going to give bad advice. I'm talking in generalities. You want to make sure it's someone who's gotten through those things, because everybody has a story. Everybody has a testimony, and everyone can say, this happened and this happened to me, but it's really what they did with that situation, because bad situations happen to everybody, but it's really how you turn that around and how do you become better from it. So that's one thing that's really important. I found that was really helpful with honestly getting me a high value man and getting married, as well as keeping a high value man, because that's another part. That's the next part, because you could get a man. Anybody could get a man, and that's one thing that women say, like, I could get a man, blah, 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 blah. All the, people who speak about relationships and high value man, a lot of the women that are going against them are like, I don't have a problem getting a man. I don't need to do X, Y, and Z to get a man. But the real thing is, can you keep a man? Can you get him to take care of you, marry you, make sure that you're good? Do you have to stress every day because you don't know that he's going to walk out the door? When you got that ring, honey, he could walk out the door, but guess what? He's still going to have to pay. Not saying we want to go there. I'm not saying that, but I'm being silly. I'm basically saying, like, a lot of the reasons why you're not getting the outcome in life is because of your mindset. So let's keep that in mind, ladies. Is it your mindset?